Yeah. Ben Askren's retiring.
So Ben Askren just retired.
Yeah.
He announced that he needed hip replacement surgery, and he's gonna just pack it in.
Yeah, he's going to the geriatric ward. Get his new hip.
What do you think about Ben Askren's run in the UFC?
I think it was pretty lackluster, obviously. I don't think... he was talking a lot of shit before he got in, and then he got hit.
To be fair, he kept talking shit.
Yeah, good for it. I do respect Ben Askren, to be honest with you. Nothing but respect from me. But I think it shows the step up in competition that the UFC has compared to any of the organizations out there.
Well, I think the big question is now not like, is Ben Askren championship caliber quality now? Because that's been answered. But the big question is, how good was Ben Askren, right?
Right.
How good was he when he was doing and performing really well in ONE FC, in Bellator?
What was the competition, though?
He does have a good win over Lima that has aged really well. Because, Douglas Lima's a killer, man. Like, he's really good. He beat Rory.
But one big win over Lima doesn't really
justify the hype that he was getting, where people thought he could beat GSP and whatnot.
Yep.
So now, but the question is, was he at one point championship caliber quality? Was he at one point
maybe
1 to 5? Was he at one point a top 10?
Well, I also think that if he was in the UFC, he wouldn't have had that tear, because, like, okay, so if you're like really good at your job, but then you move to, I don't know, some shitty state where everybody's like terrible at their job, and then you're mixed in with those people, you're gonna then become shit at your job.
You think so?
I think so. It's all about the competition.
So you think basically Ben never needed to like evolve or change his game because he wasn't really being challenged?
Well, you can see that because his striking is horrendous.
It's awful. It's really, really, really bad. If surprisingly though, it did look better against Maya, marginally. I thought. You didn't think so?
I thought it was okay.
I mean, that was the biggest jump in improvement in striking that we've ever seen Ben Askren make, I thought.
Fair enough.
Through any of his fights. So
but it was against Maya.
Maya's not good at striking, but he's also not bad.
Sure.
I think that Ben never would have been a top 5 welterweight at any point, and I think that he would have been 5 to 10, maybe 10 to 15, kind of in that realm of fighter that's sort of not a bad gatekeeper, but like a
decent one.
Yeah, like if you can beat me, you're a top 5 fighter. If not, then I will beat most everybody except for the elite of the division, just because I'm so specialized in one skill.
Yeah.
But I can be game plan. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, like, he did train with Tyron Woodley and whatnot, and I wonder if they've ever done like a hard sparring with striking, not just wrestling, because if he could stand up to Woodley's power, then I think he could be in the top 5.
Well, that was crazy because Ben did have a good chin, a really good chin. I mean, what Masvidal hit him with would have taken down a bull.
Anybody.
But what Robbie hit him with would have taken down almost anybody.
Yeah.
So I feel like he has a couple things going for him. He has a big ass head, and he has essentially springs built into his skull, which absorb impact and protect him from head spikes.
Right, that makes sense.
That's the only reason he survived the Robbie Lawler. I don't know, man. I think Askren was overhyped because of his competition, and because he was so elite in one specific skill set. But I also think injuries like the hip thing have really hampered him now, but I don't think he would have been able to implement his game plan against truly elite caliber competition, because he didn't. Yeah. My issue with him is he didn't have a good way of entering into wrestling range, which is what we saw with Masvidal. Yeah. We even saw it with Maya to a degree, and Robbie.
Yeah.
So guys who had competent striking and even competent game planning would have been able to, I think, really keep him. He never showed the ability to cut the cage well.
Right.
He never showed a Khabib-esque willingness to sort of like
take shots,
doggedly chain wrestle. Khabib's a good cage cutter, and Khabib does set up his takedowns with strikes relatively well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Ben really didn't have this, because I feel like if you're just an expert in wrestling, you can't finish fights as well. You know, as opposed to like Damian Maia, who's an expert in BJJ and choking people out. It's just like, and obviously, you know, Ben does have great ground and pound, and he's had success. But when you come to the UFC, you've got to have more than just wrestling.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like the Cron Gracie syndrome, right? You have to have a way to implement your specialization. Yes. Ben's issue was that, again, I think he would have been able to do it to like 6 and under guys at welterweight. But then when you look at the 1 through 5, I don't think he would have been able to like actually close that distance and get a hold of them because they're just too good. Like Colby, Usman. I mean, even Woodley.
I think he could have beat Colby and Usman.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I don't. They're both of them have too good a striking, too good a wrestling, too good a cardio, and like Kamaru and Colby, they're
just an evolved version of Ben Askren.
So let's jump back. It's hard, right? Because I can't remember the exact rankings when GSP was reigning supreme, but I don't think Ben would have anything for GSP between GSP's jab.
But everybody else probably. And that's what 2 generations ago.
Probably right because this would be like what George then
Woodley.
Well, I was gonna say even George, Hendricks, and Robbie, then Woodley maybe right. So we're jumping back quite a ways.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have anything for prime Robbie either, honestly, or Hendricks. I think both of those guys have too much power, and even the Robbie fight was weird.
It was really, really weird.
But I think Robbie's prime was better than Askren's prime.
Yeah.
And Robbie, I think it was just one of those things where Robbie got caught a little bit lower, but also that was such a fluky fight. I think it could have gone either way.
And he's 40 at this point.
Yeah.
You know, and his hip needs to be replaced and all that. But, you know, he didn't, like, bring it up in the fight. He didn't, like...
I respect that a lot.
So all respect to Ben Askren.
And he gave it a shot, and what more can you ask? Because he came to the UFC. He talked crap. He tried to back it up. I think he carried himself with integrity. And the whole idea of, like, oh, you talk crap, so now you deserve to have your shit pushed in. It's like, I don't know. I felt like...
He took a chance.
He took a chance, and it's not like he really talked crap in a bad way. He was just like, I think I can win.
Do you think it was worse off for his career and his legacy to go to the UFC?
I think it is bad as far as his legacy goes because people would have always wondered what if, and I think now we have a lot of those questions answered.
Yeah.
But I do think he was a name that only like hardcore MMA fans knew, and now I think that
everybody knows him.
Well, hardcore MMA fans and like hardcore wrestling fans. Now I feel everybody knows who Ben Askren is.
But is it better to be known as a killer by the hardcore or a clown by everybody else?
It depends on what your goal is, right? Like if Ben wants to get an analyst position or something, I think he could now. He's popular enough. I think he would actually do really well as an analyst.
Yeah. So
that's something that he could do if he wanted. Ben's set for life too. He owns this crazy popular wrestling camp that just brings in tons, buttloads of money.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's what his goal is. If his goal was just cement his legacy. But I think he's in a better place because now he won't have those questions either.
Right.
At least not the same ones. He might be wondering, like, well, what if I had done this 6 years sooner?
That's probably what he's thinking, yeah.
What if I'd gotten down and sucked Dana White's dick? The big tomato head sooner, right?
Yeah.
But
Uncle Fester.
Oh, man. How happy is Dana with how everything turned out?
Probably ecstatic.
Well, he built George. The Robbie fight was really exciting and built a lot of, like, buzz. I don't think he cares about Maya, though.
No.
But that was a good fight. That was actually a really fun fight.
Yeah, I thought Ben was going to win until he got choked out.
I'd say Ben had the weirdest run of any UFC fighter in history.
Yeah, it was wild.
But I think that's sort of... Yeah, Ben's legacy is that, which is kind of too bad.
Yeah.